Microsoft Word's a very powerful tool when you consider that not too many years ago all we had really was a typewriter. Producing a very nice looking well formatted document is relatively easy now. What I'd like to do in this video is to show you some of the very basic formatting techniques of Microsoft Word, and I have a document up here that I'm going to use for demonstration purposes. Well, the very first thing you do is you go to the top and go to the Home tab, and you have the ability to select different fonts. Now, to change a font, you basically just highlight it, go up here and select the font you want. You can see that it shows you the example of it, and as you pass over it, it actually changes the highlighted text to that font so you can actually see what it would look like. It doesn't actually change it until you actually click on it and say, okay, there it is. So, and then you can change the size of it. Usually 11-12 font in any size. Any font that size is usually a fairly good reading font. You can make it go larger or smaller using these icons right here. And then you can change the color of it. You can make it red, like green, but black is usually what everyone picks. You can also highlight it. You can also highlight the text like a highlight marker, and you can insert other text. Now, some other options is you can bold it, you can italicize it, you can underline it, you can do a strike through to say. You can also take a portion of it, and we'll take these off here. And let's say that you're inputting a word, or not a word, but a number, and you want to make it a square. You can say superscript, and you can say, well, that's square. Or if you want to have it like a reference number item, you can say subscript. You can put item number 2 or something like that. That's basic formatting, okay, for that. You can also center something. You can make it right justified, or in the case of this paragraph, you can do like they do in newspapers. You can say justify on both ends, and what it does is it puts spaces in between the words to make sure that both margins, left and right, are centered properly. Now, while we're on this, and we'll put it back on left justified, we can actually change the paragraph of this, and we can actually change the spacing and margins. For instance, this one is 10 points after the paragraph. You can put 10 points, 10 or, let's see, 10 points before the paragraph, so that you can have some spacing between the paragraphs. You can make the line spacing 1.5, say OK, and you'll notice that it doesn't change that until after you click OK. You can also change the margins. Okay, we'll say paragraph right here, and we can say we can indent on the left 5 and on the right 5. That's usually done a lot on quotes, and again, quotes a lot of times are single spacing. Let's just go ahead and do that. Single spacings, okay, and they're italicized with quotes around them. So that's kind of a quote. Okay. Don't forget the undo button. It's very handy, and what it does is it undoes your last modifications, and it keeps track of what you've done and what it was before you did that. Now, moving on, we can select designs, and you'll see up here in styles, we can download this. We have several predefined styles. Normal is what we've got is set at right now, and that can be changed. For instance, let's say that I said select this, and I really want it in font Calibri, which is a very common font, and I want that to be my new normal. Okay, well, what I can do is I can go up here and I can say right click, and I can say update normal to match selection. And what that does is everything in the document that's been defined as normal will now revert to that font. So let's do that. And you'll see that now everything in there is now Calibri. Font size is 12. We have lots of fonts up here. We can make a title. Let me go right here and we'll highlight that, and we'll say that's a type title, and you'll notice that it's defined as a Cambria at size 28, left justified. And again, we can change that too. We can say center, and I can say update title to match selection. Now every title that we insert from this point on will be centered Cambria at size 28. Well, let's undo that. I didn't want to make that a title. Okay, but what I did want to do was I did want to make it a heading 1. Now we'll see this in another video. Heading 1s are very, very well defined. If you make something a heading 1, a heading 2, which is subordinate to heading 1, heading 3, or any one of the headings, what you've done is you've told Microsoft Word that this is a major section of your document. And what you can do later on is you can insert an automated table of contents based upon that. So these types of styles are very, very nice. Now, you can also create a style. For instance, I have one in my book that I'm writing in Unix, which is Unix code examples. And what I've done is I've actually defined it as Courier actually. Go in here and select it. Courier. I bold it, and then I say down here, I says create new style. So I'm going to call this my Unix code style. Ta-da! Now I've got my own style, so I can actually go in and use that style to format my document very, very specifically. Alright, well, a few other things before we leave this. We're viewing the print layout style right here, which is normally what you have it on. Now, if you want to put a header on a document, there's a couple of ways to do it. The easiest way to do it is just put your cursor up here in the header area and click on it. You'll see that the header page comes up, and you can actually put a header on here and insert, and with that you can actually include a date and time. Let's say we'll pay this date right here, automatically updated, so every time you open the document and save it, it will save that date and time. And of course the formatting options go along with it. You can center it, left justify it, right justify it. Okay. This is what I really want to show you right here. This is a different first page. Now this is interesting because when you say different first page, what you're doing is you're saying that the front page, or what a lot of times is the cover page, will not have the header and footer put on it unless you deliberately put it there. We can go up and we can see that. You can see that the header is not right there. We can do the same thing with the footer down here, and again, a lot of times in a footer we'll want to put in a page number, and you can go over to the left hand side here and see predefined footer areas right there. So there's a page number, and you can actually put page, the word page right there. Okay. Notice also too you have the ability to put the number of pages on those too. Like for instance, you can put a lot of document information, the author, the file name, the path name, the document title. All those things can be inserted into the header and footer. And again, you have the same option here of doing the different first page. Well, the last thing to do a lot of times is view. A lot of times we'll ask you to do this. We'll view. You can actually set the view. You say zoom, and we'll say we want to actually specifically set it to a size, but you can actually, well, let me see, we'll say view, zoom, alright, and we'll say, let's say 29%, okay, okay. Now whenever I save the document, okay, it's going to save everything that I did. So whenever I open it back up, it's going to look like this. And there are times whenever you want to zoom it down or zoom it out to a specific viewpoint, so when the viewer, or the person opening it, first looks at it, they're going to see that view. Well, this is some of the very basic formatting techniques that we use in Microsoft Word. I hope you find this video useful, and look forward to doing another one.